Welcome to sunny and beautiful Marbella, and today we are test driving the brand new Kia EV4, the first EV from Kia in a while that isn't an SUV, and what seems like the first electric car from any manufacturer in a while which isn't an SUV. So I'm pretty excited about this car. I think it looks great on the exterior. I really like the spec. So let's take this car out on the road and see if it is as good to drive as it is to look at. The EV4 wears Kia's latest design language we first saw with the EV9 and then with the EV3. But as I said in the intro, this is the first time Kia have launched a non-SUV in a while, and I think this new design language with the star map headlight and taillight designs really does work in this body style. So this is a compact car, a little more than 4.4 meters long, which is perfect for this class of vehicle. And I have to say, in this gray color with these 19-inch wheels, this is one good looking small electric car. So because this isn't an SUV, it's a normal hatchback the size of a Volkswagen Golf or a Opel Astra or a Peugeot 308. You do step down into the car, which is nice and refreshing for a few things. So it's going to bring you closer to the ground, meaning better driving dynamics, which we're going to get back to later in the video, but also a nicer seating position and a smaller shape, a lower shape that isn't an SUV, which is also going to give you, better range and better efficiency. And Kia have been hard pressing the fact that this is their most efficient electric car. This is going to get 625 kilometers of range with the long range version in this hatchback variant, which is very, very impressive. So the interior, very familiar to what we've seen from the EV9, also the facelifted EV6, and also the EV3. This new Kia design language, and I think it's pretty nice. It's not the nicest materials like you'll find in the EV9, which just feels very upmarket. It's a little bit, cheaper than what you would find in an EV6, but I still think it works great for this price point and for this type of vehicle, because this is soft to the touch, this is soft to the touch, also on the doors, and it's not before you're around here where you have a little bit of cheap plastics, but that's to be expected at this price point. I really love these seats. This is the GT line with their artificial leather, which I think is one of the nicest in the business. I really like the pattern here. These are also cooled and heated, these seats, quite comfortable. And yeah, so my only complaint about this car, having driven it a little bit, is that I can't get the seat low enough. I would like the seat to go a little bit lower, and also the steering to go just a little bit lower, because I just feel they're sitting a little bit too high for what I want. I like that low driving position, which gives you a little bit more of a sporty feel. So you have the new 3-spoke steering wheel, which is exclusive to the GT line here. You also have a 12.3-inch screen in front of the driver. You have a 5.3-inch screen here for your HVAC, and also a 12.3-inch screen for your infotainment system. Physical buttons here on the steering wheel, really nice normal stalks, your gear selector here, and also a suite of climate control buttons. Normal switches and dials here on the door for your seat controls, for your heated and cooled seats, and also for your mirrors. Practicality wise, this does feel really nice. I'm really liking this blue, dark blue with white interior. Overall, just a spacious feeling cabin, and that more old school familiar hatchback style and not an SUV. So the rear seats of the EV4 are right out impressive. This is a car that's a little bit more than 4.4 meters long, but with a wheelbase that's about 10 centimeters longer than a Tesla Model 3. And that shows for rear legroom capacity, because knee room here is massive. This has to be the most knee room I've seen in a car at 4.4 meters long. But there's no possibility to slide my feet underneath the front seat. So even though you have, a lot of knee room, you don't have the best seating position. And also the floor feels quite high and the seat cushion isn't high enough, and you don't have as much under thigh support as I was hoping for. But you have a lot of knee room, and also it's wide, and even in the middle, yeah, headroom is not bad. So what's nice about a car with this footprint is, for Europe especially, it's not too long, it's not too wide, and you sit low, so you're getting the benefits, you know, of sportier driving dynamics and also better efficiency because you have a more aerodynamic body shapes. So we're driving the hatchback here, but there is a fastback version that's going to get a little bit more range than this hatchback, but I think this looks better than that fastback. I think the fastback has a weird rear end, while this actually looks pretty cool. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the exterior styling of this. But I can say, you know, moving through these narrow streets here in Marbella, it's nice having a car that isn't too wide, isn't too long, and actually the greenhouse is pretty big, so we have great visibility all around. So one of the biggest contentions I've had with Kias of late, and we're talking the EV6, the EV9, the EV3, is the steering feel, the steering calibration, how they program and tune the steering in their cars. Usually for me, it's too overboosted, feels too artificial, and the way it weights up, depending on lock and depending on load, there's no difference. So just my brain has a hard time processing and driving these cars in general. But I have to say, this has the most natural feeling steering of any Kia I've driven in recent memory. It actually feels pretty decent. Though, you know, this is the long range version we're driving here today with a single front electric motor. There's going to be an all-wheel drive version in the future with more power, and also a GT version. That's their top performance version. So this isn't supposed to be the most sporty version. This isn't supposed to be, you know, any sharp when it comes to handling, but I think the basis here is very, very promising. Yes, the steering is pretty, you know, vague and lifeless on center, but I don't mind because it actually weights up nicely and it feels much more natural than other Kias. And also the suspension here, really nice. We've been driving it on mountain roads and also on a motorway. And this is an inexpensive car, right? This is an entry-level car. And if you're driven anything like the new Tesla Model 3 Highland, which does have improved ride over the old model, the way they've given that car better ride is to make it a lot softer. So you have, you know, bounciness, especially going on the motorway at speed with that car. You have none of that here. There's one motion, the car settles, but at the same time, it is very soft and compliant. Maybe a little bit too soft for my liking, but again, this isn't, you know, the sporty version. This is just the first iteration of many we're gonna see with this EV4. And I think the basis there is a car that drives very, very well for the space it occupies. So there we go, guys. That was my review and test drive of the new Kia EV4, a car I'm very excited about and really excited to get back on Norwegian roads to do my proper suite of testing to see how this performs in the real world. But let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the new Kia EV4. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye. If you like the content I make here on the channel and want to support my videos, you can join my Patreon in the link down below. All contributions, big or small, is highly appreciated. So thank you very much.